Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we'll hear Mayor Neary's State of the Township address, which he presented at Monday's Town Council meeting. During his speech, he focused on property tax and open space efforts. It's also Chinese New Year, and we'll see how students at Frost School celebrated the Year of the Monkey. Professor Jack Cargill remembers the anniversary of Lincoln's Gettysburg address, and information on an upcoming performance from the Mason Gross School of the Arts. This and more, so stay with us.
It might seem like winter's just beginning, but for many East Brunswick families, they are thinking about summer. Summer day camp, that is. For over 30 years, the East Brunswick Division of Recreation has offered 6- and 7-week summer day camp programs for children pre-K through 10th grade. These camps are located in our various public schools, supervised by licensed teachers, young adults, and students. Half-day and full-day age-specific programs are planned at these different sites. All costs for camp activities are included in the registration fee, with the exception of some optional day trips. Families are responsible for transportation to and from camp, as well as snacks and/or lunches. Registration packets are available for pickup at the library or the recreation office on Dunham's Corner Road during the regular working hours. Registration begins on February 9th with applications that have been received through the mail only. Applications must be postmarked no earlier than February 9th and will be processed on a first-come, first-served basis. Spaces are limited. Payment plans are available. After reading registration materials, if you still have questions, please call the Recreation Office for clarification. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Fold it in half again. Then you put your 2 fingers in it.
Hi, we're here at Frost School this morning where they're having a Chinese cultural fair. And we're here with Ann Berry, who's the ESL instructor, and Tiffany Wang, who's a 3rd grade student. Ann, can you tell us a little bit about what's going on here, how you set it up, and all your helpers? It looks like a great program.
Well, thanks to the East Brunswick Education Foundation, we received a grant of some money where we were able to buy the materials that we needed to do this. Each table is a station. We have paper folding. The children come to that table, we'll make something using paper folding techniques. We have parents at every table helping us, and students helping to teach the children how to do that activity. We have traditional Chinese games. Tiffany was teaching the Chinese yo-yo. We have calligraphy, we have using chopsticks, and we have learning to count to 10 in Chinese and also writing the numbers 1 to 10 in Chinese.
Can you tell us a little bit about the parents that are helping here?
Most of these parents are parents of children in the Mandarin bilingual program. Some of them are former parents of ours that have helped us in the past, and we know, for example, that they're very good at paper folding, and they're more than happy to come back and help us, and we really appreciate all their help.
Looks like you really need them.
Yes.
Tiffany, I know that this goes on at Frost School about this time every year because it's a special time of year, isn't it? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Chinese New Year.
Mm-hmm. And what year is this?
The monkey.
The Year of the Monkey, that's right. What, can you tell us anything about that?
Well,
What are some of the things that you did for Chinese New Year?
we helped make the birds for the folding center, and we made dragon heads.
And you are excellent with that yo-yo. I am so impressed. How long have you been learning how to do that?
2 years in Chinese school.
Yeah, you are very good at that, and I know the other kids really appreciated you teaching them how to do that. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Tiffany and Ann.
These 3 look like this, and these 2, one down, and the other one get over there. So when this goes up, this pushes it up, it opens.
Fold it in half again.
Okay.
Okay, you've got it.
Okay?
Good.
Yep, got it. And I'll fold it in half.
Welcome to This Week at Mason Gross. I'm your host, Meg France, and today my guest is Mason Gross music professor Pamela Gilmore, the producer of Opera at Rutgers. Pam, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Can you tell us a little bit about the history of Opera at Rutgers?
Well, Opera at Rutgers has existed for over 20 years. It was founded by Professor Valerie Goodall, who started it and developed the program to the state that it is today. And she was preceded by my immediate predecessor, David Reeves, who unfortunately left us a few years ago. And this is my third season at Opera at Rutgers.
Great, very exciting. I know this year that we are presenting Charles Gounod's Romeo et Juliet.
Yes.
What can you tell me about the production?
Well, I'm very excited to do it. Romeo et Juliet is grand opera in its grandest form. It's a large opera, it's a complicated opera, it's a difficult opera to produce, partly because of its length, because of the difficulty of the music for young singers, and also because French is possibly the least accessible language for American singers to sing in. And for those reasons, I thought it was very important that we do it, that we tackle it. I figured if we spent a good chunk of time in French opera this year, that when they do leave the program, they'll have a good basis in the language and in the style, which is inherent to the work. But I'm very excited about this particular production. For the first time since I've been at Rutgers, we have the participation of the dance department, so we're actually going to have some ballet in this production, in the party scene. And some of our chorus members are also participating in the dancing, which is another important skill for them to have when they leave. I always insist that they dance every year, so by the time they leave, they will know how to waltz and minuet and gavotte at the very least. We are also very fortunate with this particular production that we're bringing Rod Kinter, who is the stage combat director from City Opera. Fencing is something you don't often think about in conjunction with opera, but in fact it's a very important stage skill. So 7 of our gentlemen and 4 of our young ladies are having the experience of doing some stage combat. It's a very tricky business. Not only does it have to be choreographed, but it has to be very safe. Yes. We have to keep people safely out of the way of what's going on stage.
Great. Do you have anyone else participating in the production that you really would like to highlight that's really exciting this year?
Well, we have some wonderful singers. We have Raijin Lee, who was seen last year as Pamina in the Magic Flute. We have a wonderful young tenor who's just joined our AD program named Jeremy Blossy, who I have very fond hopes for. We have some perennial favorites in the department who you'll be seeing again. We have a wonderful soprano who also has fairly recently come to classical singing and who is extraordinarily talented, Carlensha Grady. So we're very, very excited at her progress and to see how she does with this production as well.
Great, wonderful. This is such a special series, and I know that it's not just the production that we do every February, but it's also some things in the fall and some things in the spring.
That's right.
Why do you feel it's important that the public attend this production of opera rather than going to see it at a professional theater?
Well, I think you get to sing young singers on the rise here in a way that you don't often get to see them at professional productions. But I think we offer some of the same values. It's certainly a bargain, and I think it's wonderful to support opera at Rutgers. You know, it's a young company; they're young singers, and I think it's very exciting to see a work in progress like this.
Definitely. Now, also, this opera is very accessible for the public. There are super titles,
yes,
so that the French is, being sung, but the English is being seen. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. This is true, and not only that, but Romeo and Juliet is a perennial favorite in its many forms. Yes. So. Not only is the story familiar, but the music is so accessible and so romantic and so beautiful, and it blends so wonderfully with the drama.
Great. Well, Pam, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate the chance to talk with you about this. The dates of the production for Opera at Rutgers' production of Romeo et Juliet are February 6th to February 15th at Nicholas Music Center in the Mason Gross Performing Arts Center in New Brunswick. For more information and tickets, you can call 732-932-7511 or visit the website at www.masongross.rutgers.edu.
141 years ago this month, in the middle year of the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln announced the Emancipation Proclamation, officially freeing the slaves held in all states. Although preservation of the Union was cited as the cause for the war, it is also acknowledged that slavery was an equally important reason for the conflict. 6 months after the Emancipation Proclamation, the most horrific battle ever fought on U.S. soil took place in Pennsylvania. For 3 days in early July, Americans slaughtered American in the woods, fields, and farms of the small village of Gettysburg. 51,000 American soldiers died in those 3 days. 4 months after the battle, President Lincoln traveled to the scene of the fighting to dedicate the cemetery there in a short speech of just 269 words, which he said the world would little note nor long remember. In commemoration of the 141st anniversary of that catalytic year, we present Jack Cargill, professor of history at Rutgers University, in a reading of that speech, the Gettysburg Address.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come here to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives, that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
At last Monday's Town Council meeting, Mayor Neary delivered his State of the Township address. His speech focused on a wide range of topics that affect the community, including open space preservation and public safety.
And as I review last year and look forward to this year, I am aware that as elected officials, we must continue to focus on and bring about property tax relief for our residents. Property tax increases over the past few years, despite the fact that other governmental entities have contributed to many local increases, it still falls entirely upon our shoulders. You, the Township Council, and myself as the mayor, are expected to hold the line on property tax increases, despite the fact that only 20% is within our control. But rather than justify, explain, expand, or blame anyone else, let us all work together to keep our particular house in order. School taxes, fire district taxes, county taxes, and open space taxes cannot be included in the complicated issues that you will be facing in 2004. They are beyond your control and beyond mine. But the municipal portion of the property tax bill is where we must work diligently together on behalf of our residents. We have managed to maintain tax stability by increasing municipal taxes only 14 cents per $100 and assessed value in 7 years. But this task is not going to get any easier in 2004, which is evident by the state and national fiscal forecast. Open space preservation efforts are a passion and a commitment that I have made since I began my first year of public service. Open space and farmland preservation is not only valuable for its aesthetic and its tranquil beauty, or because of our need to preserve and to protect our environment. And as important as those factors are, open space and farmland preservation also reduces traffic congestion. It minimizes the need for more roads and infrastructure that goes along with the development. It helps to ease the overcrowding in our schools and ensures that we do not have to build another school to accommodate the hundreds of new students who would have to come to our town if we were to completely build out. A new home in East Brunswick can cost taxpayers more in providing services than a homeowner ever pays in taxes. Local property taxes provide for garbage collection, street maintenance, police protection, snow and leaf removal, for our library and parks operation and maintenance expenses, our public schools, and on and on. Substantial new home construction can generally have a negative impact on the municipal tax rate. Therefore, each and every acre preserved through open space and farmland preservation efforts will save property tax dollars long into our future. Some might say that the dollars spent on open space and farmland preservation are too high. I strongly disagree. Since the majority of our open space and farmland preservation costs have been borne by leveraging our local open space fund with significant contributions from the state and the county open space funds, which have been spent elsewhere, if not spent in East Brunswick. We have invested approximately $7 million to realize over $30 million in real estate that has been saved from development. This investment today will pay for itself many, many times over. Open space and farmland preservation, coupled with rezoning 25% of our town to one house per 6 acres, will result in long-term tax stability. The purchase of the 147 acres, currently known as Heavenly Farms, while a wonderful asset to our community, has ensured that this undeveloped part of our town will never become a mega McMansion development. By purchasing these 147 acres, the remaining acres surrounding this property, which may be developed in the future, will be less desirable for development purchases by the aggressive developers who have been hoping to build in that area for some time. Beyond the staff, we are truly blessed in East Brunswick because of the hundreds of hours and hundreds of volunteers who serve on our boards and our commissions. These men, women, and students give their time freely to make East Brunswick a better place to live. These individuals translate good government practices and ideas into plans that we all have enjoyed and benefited from in so many ways. Last year, the Environmental Commission, chaired by Elliot Goldman and David Moskowitz's assistants, used their own and dozens of volunteers' perspiration to construct East Brunswick's Butterfly Park. These beautiful and passive acres won the recognition as the most creative idea by the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commission. The success for securing the grant money needed to design and build the bikeway pedway along Riders Lane is an accomplishment of other citizen volunteers on the Traffic Advisory Board. And in 2003, the Water Policy Advisory Committee continued to monitor the quality of our drinking water, but were also valuable in providing advice and guidance with the new water storage tank on Tice's Lane. Volunteers in 2003, while working with the Arts Commission, hosted and promoted East Brunswick's first visual arts show. Despite the threatening thunderstorms of the afternoon, they had vendors' booths surrounding the municipal pond and a vast array of artistic creations. The show was a huge success in its initial year, and I am confident that this year it will be even better. East Brunswick Youth Councils grew dramatically in 2003 and made significant contributions to our community. The social aspect of this group, which provides high school students alternatives to hanging out at the mall, also provided opportunities for positive community involvement and citizenship. Led by Karen Thier, these students spent countless hours working on the Butterfly Park, shoveling snow for seniors, and helping to clean up Farrington Lake. To name only a few of the hundreds of students have spent on community service projects throughout the town. I know we'll see even more from this group in 2004, and I thank them for their efforts. The Historical Society, led by Estelle Goldsmith, finally have a home. And after years of storing our town's history in their homes, we can finally see the day when the old Smith farmhouse becomes a home to these treasures. The volunteers on the Recreation Parks Advisory Board, chaired by former Councilman Saul Fink, worked very hard to expand our extremely popular recreation programs last year. Their challenges to find locations for programs is not getting any easier as the participation of these programs continues to grow. This very proactive committee has a full plate ahead of them this year, and as they work to solve the request for more programs every year. Another citizen volunteer committee, chaired by Phil Hostler, has started an ambitious project to put East Brunswick on the map as a heart haven. Their work with businesses and with charities to make automatic external defibrillators available in as many places as possible where crowds are gathered in order to immediately respond to save lives of people experiencing cardiac disturbances. AEDs are already in all of our patrol vehicles in the police department, but the goal is to get them in shopping centers, houses of worship, schools, sports fields, gymnasiums, restaurants, and the like. This project, in order to be successful, is going to require public education, training, and outside funding. Their goals are lofty, but I believe that our volunteers on this committee will be back in 2004 reporting major accomplishments. As your mayor, I am extremely proud of our efforts to enhance the aesthetic beauty of our community. I am grateful that our efforts have increased our property values beyond our imagination. I am pleased that by working together, we can maintain our rural heritage. We can increase our recreational and environmental investments and use our commercial base to stabilize our property taxes into the future. The successes we have achieved as a community has given us an extremely strong foundation to build upon. But your skills and contributions make a successful 21st century reasonable and accessible. Let us all move together for a brighter day. Thank you.
You can hear the Mayor's State of the Township address in its entirety Saturday, January 31st at 2:30 p.m. Later that evening, the Council voted unanimously on the purchase of the Heavenly Farms property along Cranberry Road and Dunham's Corner Road. The next Town Council meeting will be held Monday, February 2nd.
Happy Chinese New Year, everyone! This is the Year of Monkey. Chinese New Year was on January 22nd. There's a very interesting ancient Chinese story about all the animals having a race for the 12 spots on the calendar. And here are the first 12 animals that finished the race. The rat actually finished first, believe it or not. And then the ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, sheep, which was last year, and then monkey this year, rooster, and then dog and pig. They take turn to be the animal of the year. So the next time when we have the Year of Monkey will be 12 years later in year 2016. Here are some famous people who were born in the Year of Monkey. President Harry Truman, actress Elizabeth Taylor, and magician David Copperfield. By the way, let me tell you a little secret. Since these people were born in the Year of Monkey, that means their ages are in the multiple of 12 this year. So, it is actually very easy for other people to guess your actual age if they know your zodiac year. so be careful. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day are celebrated as a family affair, a time of family reunion. Friends and family visit each other and congratulate each other. It is actually the best time of the year for the children because they are supposed to receive lucky money from the adults that they visit. It is also very common for you to see Chinese New Year parade with lion dance and dragon dance. I'm Frank Lee. Happy New Year.